Hey guys, my name is Icy Cold and I am a Grandmaster slash deity level player and I've been playing Smite for more than 10 years now. And today I'll be telling you what the best aspects are, the okay aspects and the worst aspects that are currently in the game. And I'll also be covering the new Kali aspect and the new Guan Yu aspect for Open Beta 10. Now starting off with Achilles, I don't think this aspect is that great, but it's also not bad either. Now, with this aspect, you can use your 3 dash a second time on jungle camps, which will help your jungling a bit more. And you get 15% more damage scaling on your 3 spear hits. But this aspect is not that great because you do sacrifice the protections from your 2 and crowd control reduction. The damage from this aspect is not good enough for that trade-off, in my opinion, but it can work. So that's why I'm putting it here at it's okay. Now for Agni aspect is obviously really good. If you've used it, you realize just how good the burst damage is on it. And crit Agni is very strong, as his kit can allow him to weave auto attacks in with his abilities anyways. And his and this does make his early game versus ADCs really good. Now, Armor aspect, when it first came out, this was very good. Like I would put it up here in S plus tier better than the normal kit, but it's seen a lot of nerfs recently because it's just way too good. So now it's more in a balanced spot nowadays. So I will just put it in it's okay area. On her aspect, I would put in great but situational. His normal kit is still really good because of the fat pen that you get from it, but the increased attack speed that you can get with this aspect could make going like on her support or a more tanky build more worth it, as you can stack so much attack speed onto people and just hit them for way too much. If you're good with your auto attacks, then this is really good. Ares aspect, I would put in it's okay, but actually I'll put it on the lower end of great but situational. But because you're trading your protections and health regen from your 2 for a stun and extra damage when you hit somebody with your basic attack. Now this has more use for Ares as a solo laner and potentially a jungler if you want to go that route. So if you want to go the aspect, then you have to do it with that specific playstyle. Artemis aspect, uh, I'm actually I'm actually mixed on putting this in reportable offense or good in some cases. I think I'll put it here just because it's not the worst thing in the world. Now, her normal traps when you with somebody in place is really strong, but but her aspect traps don't really do anything except help you with wave clear. And if you want to go Artemis jungle, then it's just worth it's almost useless because you already have good enough clear as it is, and the root from your traps is way too valuable to give up. So if you can stack this for wave clear, like let's say that you're fighting a really bad matchup in lane and you need to clear the wave, but they won't let you, or you can't really step up and clear it. If you can pre-place these traps when they're not in lane, then that could help you out. But besides that, I don't think this aspect is good at all. Nobody's running it in ranked, so I'll just put it on the lower end here. Athena aspect, also great but situational because you don't always want to teleport one on top of the enemy, but it can help for certain situations, like I said. If you're running Athena jungle and you want to gank somebody, but they have like 2 dashes, like let's say you're ganking an Aladdin solo or Aladdin mid or a Neath, if you ult onto your teammates who can't really catch up to them, then you pretty much wasted your ult. But with your but being able to ult on top of them means you can catch them off the dash and stick to them. So this could be really helpful. But if you're going a full damage build like Athena jungle, if you ult on top of them when there's multiple people around, then you're just gonna get one shot. And as for Bacchus aspect, I've actually ran the numbers for a full damage build, and I would say it's okay. Like I would put it like around here. And I'm saying that because you're never gonna run this aspect for tank Bacchus, but if you're going full damage Bacchus, then you'll actually do the same amount of damage to kill somebody with a full intelligence build versus a full strength build. because his aspect has strength scaling on his one auto. So this does have some use, but it's not anything significant. It's not a huge change like Agni aspect or on her aspect, for example. So I'll just put it here, but it's also not bad either. Now, Bellona aspect, right now, for the current patch in Open Beta 9, I would say it's good in some cases. But for next patch, the healing transfer from this aspect is going from 5% of your physical protections to 10%. And if you've seen a few people run an Aerosbow build with Tanky Bellona, then you'll be healing your teammates for so much. And that was beforehand. So with that specific build, the healing will be really, really good. But then again, anti-heal is still a thing. So it could make this kind of useless if they build enough of it. But if you're not in a team fight and someone's low health, if you apply Aerosbow to them with this new aspect while you're hitting the fire giant, then you'll be able to just heal them to full right back. So this does have some use. You're pretty much a second healer as long as you're hitting something around. A Cerberus aspect, I'll just put in reportable offense. I actually don't think this is good at all. Now some people might say, oh, but you can infinitely select it too for a lot of damage. Yeah, but you don't really want to use Cerberus as a full damage character because he's not the best full damage character in the game. And in the higher ranks, he's almost exclusively a tank. And if you build full tank on him, then all this aspect will do is force you to stay in your two even longer. And good enough players will interrupt you out of their two if they have the CC for it. And you also trade off the pull from your knockup, well, from your ultimate. You cannot pull multiple teammates back to your enemies, but instead you just knock them up, which is really bad. So almost every single time that I've seen people run Cerberus aspect in ranked, it's just very lackluster. It doesn't really do anything for them. Now, as for certain aspect, it makes him an assassin as well as a melee character, but nobody runs this at all. However, it does have some use. If you're a really good CERN player and a good jungler, this can work, but nobody really uses it because it's not the best. Since his kit is not entirely built for an assassin playstyle, I mean you can, but this this is only good if you are a really good jungler and as well as a very good Kununos player. As with every single basic attack that you do with this aspect, you'll get all the benefits from your one, but it's just not used that much because it's not great, but it's also not falling under reportable offense either, because his ult still has a lot of team play value. Chalk aspect, I'll put in great but situational. I wouldn't say better than normal kit because the healing from his three in normal gameplay is already good enough, especially for certain matchups. Chuck needs the healing in the solo lane, or maybe if you're winning Chuck mid and someone is like playing something like Agni, you might want to go the healing. But if you're going Chuck mid, then you may as well go the aspect anyways. This will give extra damage on your three, which can help in team fights, but the damage isn't significant enough to really say that it's better than the normal kit to just completely give up your healing. So that's why I'll put it here. Now Cupid aspect, it just got nerfed, so I'll put it in the it's okay section. Now Cupid aspect makes him a more support character. He can heal his teammates a lot more. His ults will heal teammates, but he does lose quite a bit of power from it. It's more in a balanced spot now. It's not bad, but it's also not great either, especially since the nerf. Alright, now for dance aspect, I'll put him in. Actually, I'll put him at the very start of It's Okay. Now his normal kit, the two taunts ability makes it really hard to dive a dancer if you don't have beads on. But the clones that he gets is really, really big. And for fighting certain enemy team comps, the clones can do a lot for Danza. Whereas if you win the aspect on a very dive heavy comp, then the clones aren't really gonna do much for you. You would much rather go the normal two. Now for Fenrir aspect, I would not say that it's better than the normal kit, but it's definitely really, really good. The slow that you get on your three makes Fenrir support really, really strong. And you do lose quite a bit of power from your 2 and from your 3. Uh, You lose power and damage, but with the right builds, you can make him work in the jungle, as the slow is very strong, and it just makes the tank Fenrir way better than he was in Smite 1. Now, Geb aspect, I would say it's good in some cases. It's not bad by any means, but this can only work for certain playstyles, like, for example, Geb solo. But then again, with the recent, well, not really recent, because this was a while back, but the changes to proxying waves makes Geb solo not as viable as it used to be. But this aspect still has some use for him, as it can make his wave clear in lane much stronger. But you can still argue to go the normal kit anyways, as the CC knockup from his 2 is still good enough. Now, Guan Yu aspect, I actually had to look quite a bit into this. I ran the numbers myself, and this aspect is actually really good. Now, what makes his aspect really good is the healing and the cooldown reduction that he gives to his teammates. Now, this will force you into a full intelligence build, which is worse than the full strength build that you can run on him with attack speed, as your abilities won't do as much damage and your basic attacks will hit for way less. This will make your early game really bad compared to a strength build, but for late game, this aspect will help your team out so much in a fight. It'll heal for a lot, it'll reduce the cooldowns, and you can spam your 2 in 1 late game. So this aspect will be really, really strong for late game. Now, Hekati aspect, I would say good in some actually. Now this is a very weird aspect. I think I'll just put it in great but situational, because if you do run it versus an Uller or an Agni or a team with lots of spamming abilities, then the aspect will be very, very strong, as you get free damage off in every fight, and it could make Uller regret picking him. And this can be more useful as a support as well. But if you've ever played Arena or Assault, then you know for sure that this aspect is broken. Now, Hercules aspect, I would put in reportable offense. Why? Because this will increase the healing that you get in your 3. But with one anti-heal item, you're just cooked, because the extra healing from his 3 is not worth trading the attack speed sim that you get from it. And it's just bad. Don't ever run it. Now, Hunbat's aspect, I would put in it's okay. When it was first released, it was actually better than the normal kit, but they've nerfed it to a more balanced state now, so this can only work if you're going a tanky Hunbats. Now, Kali aspect, I would say it's also great but situational. It's not better than the normal kit, as playing Assassin Kali with her immunity in her ultimate is still really, really strong. But for Kali aspect, I did make a video on it where I fought Weekend and Inbound in lane, and this aspect is really, really freaking strong. The healing and the huge stats that you get from the ultimate is just insane. Now, Kepi aspect, easily better than the normal kit. If you've ever played Kepi with the aspect on, then you know just how insane it is, because you're trading a small little pull for for an easy 150 to like 250 damage early to mid game, and that extra damage as a support is massive. And there's no reason for you to not run this. You should always run the Kepi aspect. Loki aspect, as you all know, reportable offense. This shit is ass. It is terrible, and it's not even good in some cases either. Well, because even if you do it with a teammates, and you both want to make this work, the Loki player will still suffer a lot from a lack of damage throughout most of the game. And even in the most very niche situations, there's still no argument to be made, because the item Helm of Darkness, the invisible active item, is in the game, which can make your teammates turn invisible anyways. So this is just terrible. I hope they give him a new aspect. And yeah, Merlin aspect, it's also great but situational. I put it like around here. With certain builds, this aspect is very, very strong, but not being able to know which abilities you'll get can be a real problem, because if you're getting dove on and you need specific Merlin abilities from one of his stances, then when you ult, you might not even get it. So this aspect is good with very good builds like the Bluestone and Phoenix Shield build, which gives you a lot of healing and damage, but it's not better than the normal kit just because of the pure randomness of it. Now, Mordred aspect, I would say, is better than the normal kit. Now, you trade off some protections in your 2 This aspect allows you to use your passive a lot easier. It's just overall better. You still shred protections from the enemy. You gain cooldown with your auto attacks. And with a tanky enough build, this will make your early game pressure skyrocket way more. Need aspect, I would say, is also great but situational. I put it maybe around here. Not running the aspect means you are going ability damage build, but this aspect allows her to go a full ADC build and shred anything that's in front of her. So this aspect is really really good, I would say. Nemesis aspect, I would put in reportable offense, just because one anti-heal item makes this aspect really bad. If you're lower HP and they have more percent HP than you do, then you'll heal a lot. But with one anti-heal item, you're just trading off damage for a heal that can be insignificant. Poseidon aspect, I would put better than normal. This aspect makes his early game way stronger. It makes your auto attacks near unmissable, and this is overall better. You do lose some damage by not going a full mage build, so you can't really truly one-shot with your Kraken ability. But if you can get your 3 and Kraken off on somebody and hit them twice with your enhanced 2, then they're just dead anyway, so it's pretty much the exact same situation. It makes his wave clear better, it makes his camp clear better, even without Boombas. So there's no reason for you to not run this aspect. Raw aspect, I'd put in it's okay, because I put it like around here. This aspect has gone nerfed ever since it was released, because it used to be really strong, but now it's in a more balanced state. If you're going a raw solo or a raw support build, then the heals from this is really good, and you can help your team out a lot in fights. Now, Marmor aspect is getting nerfed for next patch. It was never really the best aspect, but it was also not bad either. But since it's getting nerfed next patch, I will put it in the very top of C tier. It'll be good in some cases, as you will now lose slow stacks when you hit people, which is what made this aspect good. So this is just in a more balanced state, I guess. So big aspect, reportable offense. This is basically a worse version of Tyr's Fearless from Smite 1. And this completely kills what makes Sobek a good character. Because in order to make this work, you pretty much have to blink behind the enemy and then dash them towards your team. So you have to waste a whole relic slots just do something that you can already do normally. And this has almost no use at all. Just run the normal kits. It's just better. Now Soul aspect is also great but situational. This will change Soul from a more ADC based build and playstyle to a full mage playstyle. And her abilities for this aspect is really strong. You'll do way more damage with your 2, your 1, and your ults, as well as your 3 too. And with right builds, you can one-shot people very easily. Now, Thanos' aspect, it used to be better than the normal kit, but now it's more in the it's okay section. This does make you quite tanky. The later the game goes on, as you get a lot more health, and this is better for running a tank build. And going the normal kit is still fine. Now, Morgan aspect, I would say, is better than the normal kits, purely because of how much utility her 3 brings. Now, you do lose the stealth from her 3, but if you really want to use the stealth, then the Helm of Darkness item, the item that makes it go invisible, is still in the game, and you can still use it. But this aspect makes it good in every single role in the game, and makes Morgan support actually viable. And Morgan support is my favorite support pick in the game, as you can face check objectives while sending a clone back to your team to see if people are on the Fire Giant or on a Gold Fury, and to see how healthy it is. And if you're in trouble, you can easily get out. And this can lead to some very wild cat and mouse chases. Now this is basically fighting a Chalk but on steroids when it comes to chasing her down. Thor aspect, it used to be better than the normal kit, but I would put it in the it's okay section, as it's gotten nerfed quite a lot. This aspect will slow enemies the more you hit them. Your passive is always active, but they have nerfed the damage from it a lot, and the heal as well. So this is still good, but it's more for tank Thor playstyles and not full damage anymore. I would put it on great but situational for that reason, but it's not being used as much anymore, so I'll just put it here. Vulcan aspect makes him a tank. I'd put it like maybe around here. Now Vulcan aspect makes him a really strong tank, and it makes him near unkillable next to his Thumper with the right mods. And I've seen many tank Vulcans in my ranked games being used by really good players, and this is very good. So if you do want to play tank Vulcan, this aspect makes him viable. The Emoji aspect, it used to be better than the normal kits when it was released because D2's damage was absolutely beyond broken. There was no reason for you to not go it. But now it's in a more balanced area. I would put it like in the center of it's okay. Because it's still not the best thing in the world. It's still not great but situational, but I would put it right here. Because if you are a good enough Yumocha player, then this would be in great but situational, but since she's a very hard character to play and not everybody knows how to use her, I would put her on it's okay. Now this is more so just just on how good you are on Yumocha, rather than the aspect being good. Now that was the Open Beta 10 aspect tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll be making a full aspect explanation guide in the future, so be sure to stay tuned for that.